Look, the biggest podcast where you can learn them lessons. Line for line where you can learn from different sections. Made it out the mud, come tell your story, blessings. Never know who listening, never know who stressing. Devon gave you a voice, come speak your honest truth. Line for line, go bar for bar, it's up to you. Wanna talk sports, gov, and politics? Wanna talk about where you from and your accomplishments? The Line for Line is really where you need to be. A platform that's really made for folks like you and me. You can find it all no matter what you seek. Whether you calling or you listening, tune in every week.
All right. Just like that, we're back in another very special episode of Line for Line podcast. I'm your host with the most. We have a very special guest in the building. Before we let them introduce themselves to the world, we'll say hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave an interactive comment for me and my guest. Just like that, we'll let you introduce yourself to the world.
Hi, I'm Dez Bowers. I'm 17, and I go to Indian Trail High School and Academy.
And the most cliche-est thing that we'll ever hear on this show is just tell them a little bit about you, how you grew up, what life was like.
Growing up, I'd say life was pretty difficult because I grew up without both of my parents because my dad was in the Army and my mom just was never really around. But it got better because I had my grandma and I had my uncle. Mm-hmm. And I had my supportive friends and my teachers, and I had theater, and that basically made life easier.
Yeah. How old were you when you got into theater?
It first started in kindergarten because when I went to elementary school, they were not forced, but we would all have to be in the school shows. And I feel as if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have found my passion for theater.
Really? Tell us a little bit more about finding your passion when it comes to theater.
Theater, it just speaks to me a lot because you don't have to be someone the other people want you to be. You can be whoever you want to be. You can be yourself. You can be someone else, and people don't judge you in theater. It's like a big family.
Nice. And you started that in elementary school? Mm-hmm. Just tell us a little bit about how it's progressed for you over the years and how you were able to perfect your craft as you went along with it as well.
I feel as over the years, I've gotten bigger and bigger roles, and that's really challenged myself more. Because with bigger roles, there's more responsibilities, and there's more stuff you have to learn and memorize. And it's really taught me that, because I want to be an actor on Broadway one day. Mm-hmm. And to do that, I have to be I have to know my stuff. I have to be able to do it 8 times a week, because that's how many shows they do a week on Broadway.
They do 8 shows a week?
Mm-hmm.
What's the most you've done now, even though you're not on Broadway?
Most I've done in a week is 5.
No way. Just tell us a little about the pressure and everything that goes into working so hard to put on for 5 shows.
Because I know my first time doing 5 shows was last summer when I did Newsies downtown Kenosha at Children's Theater Academy, one of my favorite places to do theater. And they do 10 shows, 2 weekends, 1 Friday nights, and then 2 Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. And that was my first time doing multiple shows a day. And it was hard because you spend a lot of effort and a lot of energy into the show. But it just really helps having supportive people and supportive cast and directors and family makes it work.
What would you say has been, I can't talk for some reason. What would you say has been the most difficult part of theater in the journey?
Most difficult part for me when I was beginning in theater, it was memorizing the stuff. Mm-hmm. Because I know I have different ways of memorizing. Sometimes I'll read the script, and recently I'll just watch different productions of the show on YouTube, and that's helped me really learn my character and stuff.
Nice. Can you tell us a little bit about the most favorite role that you've ever portrayed and played?
That's a tie for me. My 2 most recent Indian Trail shows have to be my 2 favorite, and they were Horton the Elephant in Seussical and Cogsworth in Beauty and the Beast. Mm-hmm. And they're honestly my favorite because I can relate to them in so many different ways. Cogsworth, he's mean. I wouldn't say I'm mean. I'm just... Sometimes I expect things of other people that never happen. And at the end of the show, he changes. He gets a little bit nicer. And that's how I am. Sometimes I warm up to people. Sometimes I don't. Mm-hmm. And for Horton, I relate to him basically every day because people thought he was crazy. People thought he was different. People think I'm crazy all the time.
Oh, really?
And at the end of the show, they realized that he wasn't crazy. And it teaches us a lesson to never judge a book by its cover.
Nice. Now, just tell us a little bit about your process before you get ready to hit the stage. What's going through your mental? What are you doing to get ready to portray the person that you've never portrayed before?
I usually like to take a good 15, 30 minutes just to look over my scripts, look over like my lines, my blocking, just so I make sure I have it down packed for the show. And then I take a good about 10, 15 minutes to get into costume, hair and stuff. And usually we'll take a good 5 minutes before the show starts to get together as a cast and just wish each other good luck. And I feel that's really what helps me get into characters, knowing I have a good cast supporting me.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's kids out there who want to start theater as well too. How would you give them advice if, let's say, they're scared to be in the spotlight, they're scared to step outside of their comfort zone? What are some things you tell them?
I'd say just do it. Life is full of risks. If it's something you love and you want to like pursue as like a career one day, I'd say do it. At first, when I was in elementary school, I honestly didn't really like theater because like the shows, they were like little kid shows. But growing up, I really started to like theater like more and more. And I feel as though I have so many people to thank that for where I am now. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have found my passion for theater.
Oh, wow. Kudos to them.
Mm-hmm. And so if it's something you want to do, just look for those people that are there to support you and help you like push for your dreams.
Has there ever been a time, because obviously you just said you didn't want to do theater when you first started, but has there been a time where you were a little down and out and you just remember why it is that you do what you do when it comes to theater?
Yeah, there's been times where I've had doubts and I've been like down and stuff. And then I just remember theater is my life. It's what I want to do. And it's something that helps me take away like stress, and it just makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Now, what would you say has been the most easiest thing when it comes to theater?
The most easiest thing? Probably having fun, because doing theater is really fun. You get to meet new people, you get to do new things, get to explore new characters. Because for me, last year, I'm more of a musical person, but I also like doing plays, and I did my first like play last year, and somehow I ended up with the main character, and that was like a big like juggle for me because he had the most lines and the most stuff to do, and I was like, this is my first play, how am I gonna do this? And I had a supportive cast and directive team and a supportive grandma and supportive friends outside of theater that were there to help me.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Now, once it's all said and done, what would you say is the mark that you want to leave behind and what you want to be remembered for when it comes to theater?
I want to be remembered as the kid who wasn't afraid to do what they wanted. Like, I want to be remembered as a kid who pushed for what they wanted, who followed their dreams, and who was there to help others follow their dreams even if they didn't think it was possible.
Nice. As we get ready to close out this amazing episode, is there anyone out there that you would like to shout out to that maybe helped you along the way, kept you motivated, any things of that nature?
3 people that come to mind. My amazing best friend of 6+ years, Annalise. I met her in 6th grade, and we have been best friends ever since. We've done so many theater shows together, and without her, I probably wouldn't be where I am now. A second person is my elementary school music teacher, Mrs. Fisher. She had so much faith in me, and I owe her so much, even to this very day. She pushed me to get what I wanted, and she just had so much faith in me. And the third person is my grandma. If it wasn't for her, I probably would not be here. Mm-hmm. She just takes care of me like no one else ever has. And without her, I don't know what I do.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we just wrapped up an amazing episode of Line for Line podcast. Dez, we greatly appreciate you for having some time for us.
Thank you for having me.
You calling or you listening, tune in every week. Line for line. Oh yeah, I'm going line for line.